Alright, so welcome back. We are done with hypothesis testing of one sample. We are done with that. So we are back to hypothesis testing of what? Or hypothesis testing with what? Two samples. So here we are going to, it is the same thing that we are going to deal about it, okay, but something new is coming here. Alright, so here we are going to look at testing the difference between what? Means. Testing the difference between means. And testing the difference between the means, we have linear, we have independent and what? Dependent. And under the independent, we have the one which is dealing with the large what? Sample. The one dealing with the large sample and the one which is dealing with the what? The small what? Sample. Alright. We will be also looking at testing difference between proportion if possible. Alright. But what we are going to do here is the independent and what? Dependent. By the independent, we have the large sample and the what? The small what? Sample. But with the independent, there is nothing like large sample and what? Small sample. So I'll be back with, so you see, then we have to go to how we can identify that a certain question or a certain claim or statement is independent or what? Dependent. So that's what we are going to do right now. Stay tuned. Alright, so all that we are saying about here is we being able to identify the independent and the what? The dependent. Alright, so because all that we are going to do under these two samples is dependent and the independent. Alright, so now when we talk of the independent sample, what does it mean? So two samples are independent if the sample selected from one population is not, alright, is not related to the sample selected from the second what? Population. So what we say that this is what we mean. So like the independent. Alright, the independent. Let's say we have sample 1. We have sample 2. Alright, so with this sample, let's say we have this sample to be this sample to be that. Alright, so you see that the sample 1 here and the sample 2 here, none of it is related to what? Each other. So when, we can also say disjoint. So we can see that the sample 1 and the sample 2, they are disjoint. So if they are disjoint, that means that there is no relative between the two. Then that makes it what? An independent what? Sample. And when we talk of the dependent sample, the dependent sample 2 is two samples are dependent if each member of one sample corresponds to a member of the other what? Sample. Dependent samples are also called paired or matched what? Sample. Let's say that we have sample 1, sample 2, right? Okay. So let's say we have it to be this to be this. So you can see, let's say this, that. So you can see that we can pair this to this, we can pair this to this, we can pair this to this, we can pair this to this. So when it happens like that, then we are saying that this is dependent on each what other. So that makes it what? A dependent what? Sample. Alright, so this is just a small definition I want to give to you. I will become back with an example for us to see how we can identify a dependent and independent what? Claim or what? Statements. Thank you. Alright, so we are back to an example. So this is an example. So looking at the first question. The first question is about what? Alright, so we have sample 1 and sample 2. So we are going to check the first sample and the second sample and relate to see if it is independent or what? Dependent. Alright, so we have weight of 65 college students before their freshman year begins. Weight of 65 college students before their freshman year begins. The second one is weight of the same 65 college students after their freshman year. After their freshman what? Year. How you can see that? So this after their freshman year begins. So after their freshman year begins. Alright, so now let's see sample 1 and the sample 2. What do you see? Is it dependent or independent? What can you say about it? Alright, so we can say that these samples are dependent because the weight of the same student in sample 1 are taken. The samples are related. The samples are related because see the weight of the 65 students here that were taken is the same thing that was also taken the same. See, look at it, the same. So you can see that this and this is what? Dependent. That is how you can look at it also. So the same can be paired with respect to each what? Student. Alright, we can pair them. Second question, sample 1, sample 2. Score for 60. Score for 38 adult male on a psychological screening test for attention deficit hyperactive what? Disorder. Score for 68 adult males on a psychological screening test for attention deficit hyperactive disorder. The second one chooses scores of 50 adults. So this score of 38 adult males. This score males, females, alright. On a psychological screening test for attention deficit hyperactive what? Hyperactivity what? Disorder. So you can see this sample. The first one is talking of what? The male. The second one is talking of what? Female. So you can see this cannot be paired. It's not related. So you can see that this is independent what? Independent what? Sample. Independent what? Sample. Alright. So let me be back with an example or a try question for you. Good. So all that we are doing is going to help us when we get to when we get to dealing with testing the difference between the what? The means. And that one we have that for the independent and what the dependent. Alright. So you have to try on this. Yeah, try on this. Sample 1, sample 2. Systolic blood pressure of 30 adult female. Systolic blood pressure of 30 adult males. Is it dependent or independent? Coming back to this, midterm exams, score of 14 chemistry students. Sample 2. Final exam score of same 14 chemistry students. So there's the question 1 and the question 2. Which one is dependent and which one is the independent? Alright. Alright, welcome back. Testing the difference between the means. Testing the difference between the means. So here is about large what? Sample. The large what? Sample. Sorry, large independent. So here we are going to first based on the what? The independent. So large independent sample. Alright, so what we are going to look at in this video is for the independent what? Samples. Alright.